Let them all in. Let them in.
Many,
Let
many
them in. Don't leave them out there. They don't need to be out there anymore. Good to see you guys.
All right, we've got just a few more people working their way in here. Seems like there's a little bit of connectivity issues today.
Yeah, I don't see people working their way in.
Yes.
Infiltrating the club zone.
Now that song's in my head. Great.
Okay. Is that a song? Club Zone?
No, Danger Zone from Top Gun.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to the Sid City Social Club for Friday, June 17th. We're glad you're here. I don't think we've got any birthdays today, so
weird.
Yeah, I know. We don't have any birthday shout outs requested, so you can talk about whatever you want and we can just segue.
Yeah, if anyone's got a birthday, it's just weird not to have a birthday with this many people in a room. Crazy talk.
It's crazy talk. So over to Sid for whatever random topic he wants to bring up.
I haven't got a random topic because we started a little late because we were talking about random topics just before the thing. Mainly because of the fact it's so hot in the Midwest. I mean, it's crazy there apparently. And it's going to be set there. So you have my commiserations, all of you guys. Try and stay cool. There's good advice on, I think it's the BBC, weirdly, for how to stay cool at night and get a good night's sleep right now on the website, I believe. So go over there and check it out if you need a few tips. Let's get going.
Okay. We're going to go over to Carl first.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Thank you, Mel.
Carl.
Hey. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sid. How are you?
Nice to see you again. Very good indeed. Thanks, my friend. How are you?
I'm very good. It is boiling here in the UK as well.
It is?
Yeah.
What's the temperature flying
30, around? 30 in proper measurement.
In real measurements, in what grown-up people use.
That's right. You've got to convert it to Fahrenheit now.
I'm looking to try and convert it.
Right. You've we need to convert you back.
Because I grew up in the time with the imperial. See, that was what was weird for me is I grew up during I guess I was 14 or 15 when it went to metric in the UK. Okay. So I grew up with inches and feet. And then it changed to metric and just got used to it.
It's a mixture, I think. We've still got a mixture.
Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, you do. So I mean, I've gone on about metric is much better. It's so much more relaxing. There's no 32ths, no 16ths.
Yes.
Very annoying.
No, you're okay.
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm fine. It's good. It's been I get to go to Dublin next week for work, which means I haven't seen my boss in 2.5 years. So
now, what is it? IT?
Payments. Yeah.
Payments. Okay. Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, my job it's kind of like chief of staff, but we don't like to use that because if everyone's a chief of staff, then it's like the West Wing or something. I kind of look after business rhythms for our company and look after our headcount. I look after our internal comms. I look after things like that. So it's
are you good. Feeling any kind of squeeze? Because a lot of people in the States are just finding it really hard to employ people right now.
There is quite it's the great resignation, isn't it? It's lots of people leaving and they're reevaluating their lives. If you can get, with inflation going up, people are like, well, now's a good time to jump because I can find something that pays a bit more, Yeah. So it's everything is just changing because like the world changed with COVID. We changed back a little bit. Like I don't have to go back to the office unless I need to. Which is great because I don't want to get on that, that train.
That's pretty cushy. I mean, what are you the sort of person who knows about like why inflation is happening all over the world? Because in America, they think it's strictly Biden's fault. But I'm assuming it can't be his fault that there's high inflation in the UK too.
No, it's Boris Johnson's fault.
It must be. So there's some corollary here that there's inflation is high everywhere.
I mean, obviously it's the oil price, and I think it's like industries coming out of those industries most affected by COVID that had to let a bunch of workers go.
Yeah,
that are trying to ramp up again, that can't get the workers back.
Yeah,
so having to pay more. And then there is, sunflower oil, normal oil. And in the UK, we have ABC, austerity, Brexit, COVID. So you get the whole thing in one go.
The whole shebang.
And it's really hard to, distinguish between it all. And then, so yeah, fun.
So, Cole, what's the best idea you ever had?
I think one of the best ideas I ever had was to quit the university course I was studying and take a year out and then reapply, because I realized I wasn't enjoying it. I think my best decision was.
How were you so mature that you knew that you actually knew that and pulled the trigger? Because that is a really, really mature thing to do.
I was so bad at it.
But you got in, you qualified in it. You got accepted.
I know. I think I was doing psychology at the University of Westminster. And, I just thought, this isn't my thing. It isn't sort of scientific enough in a sense. That's actually not a very good explanation, but it's not discrete enough. It's very kind of all theory, but like,
I know exactly.
There's not numbers to prove it or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I did I didn't do psychology. I did sociology. I remember, which is the kind of preamble to a psychology degree. You have to do a bit of sociology to start with, and you had to do a bit of sociology for foreign affairs, which I was studying. But I studied it at the Open University. For those guys who don't know what the Open University is, it's a correspondent course which you do in the UK, and it's government subsidized, so you pay very little for it. I actually couldn't finish it because I got a job doing a movie called Syriana, and I was just away for so long I couldn't see my tutor every week, and I totally dropped the ball. But I was really excited about foreign affairs at that time.
But you did get a degree and a master's and a doctorate in being killed in that movie and another movie. So,
yes, I've got. I think you've done well. A master's in death.
So what's the best? What's your favorite idea? What's your
I think that's a really good question. I've never thought about it from the other side of the gun. I think the best idea I probably ever had was, I'm going through a couple of them. I think it was to be a director. I think that changed my life because I started looking at everything in a different way. I didn't end up being a director, which is ironic, but I certainly, when I was about 19, decided that I fervently wanted to be a director. And I started looking at text and the world through a totally different prism, more a voyeuristic prism, an observational prism. And that kind of changed the way I was wired. That made me kind of analytical about people and myself and all sorts of things at a time when that wasn't in my ballpark. That was just my hobby. And because it was an end game, excuse me, to put on something cool, it was plays at that time because that's really all I understood. It was just really creatively very, very nutritious. And I think that kind of made me a half decent actor right out, once I'd got educated and been educated at acting school. I was certainly not a half decent actor until I finished acting school. And when I finished acting school, I was about half decent. In fact, my teacher there said I was the second worst actor at the school, but there were only 19 of us in the year, so that's not too bad. But I think that was probably the most influential idea that had a real effect and still has an effect on me today.
I think it's that thing of one thing leads to another. It's like when you're describing being a director, I think what I took from that is like it's about creating a world, an entire world, and that way of seeing it. Yeah. And then that absolutely must apply, I guess, to acting, obviously. But I think it's certainly having, talked to you and listened to you for the last couple of years, it's that your outlook on life is very much around sort of taking information, just like having a great view, a well understood view of the world. I think that may have.
Thank you. Well, it's definitely a big picture thing, and it helped me as an actor because I see roles in context of the movie or the play or the TV show. So I think I second guess kind of what the director needs from the character, what sort of charge he has to have, what tone he has to have, and I try and get that, which has got me work because directors think, oh my goodness, an actor gets it. What did you do in your year off?
I just I thought I was a bit sort of like, oh my god, what am I going to do? But I got a Saturday job at the Virgin Megastore in Reading, where I was, and I just met the sort of such a great group of friends, and it just like I never really had that sort of group of friends before, where you just sort of work and then go out for drinking afterwards, and then the pubs closed at 11 o'clock in those days, and you get the bus home.
They did.
So I remember my interview, they were trying to decide where they might put me, and it's like, so what's in the charts at the moment? And I was like, and then they were like, well, what's coming out on video games? It's like, right, well, let me tell you about that.
Boom.
That's right. That's right. Well, I can go on for hours. And so they put me upstairs with that stuff. It's like that pivotal moment. It's like when your life could have gone off in that direction.
Yeah. What are you playing right now?
I think I was trying to replay Deus Ex Mankind Divided, but I kind of went off that a bit.
Right.
I just finished Crisis Remastered.
Okay, all right.
Which was a really good shooter. And it's that thing where you get to the like ridiculous end of level Guardians and you just can't get past it. It's like, right, that's another game I'm going to not finish. I can't get past the bloody end of level Guardian.
But I just finished the Elden Ring.
Oh my God.
And that's got some pretty hefty bosses. I
can't get past a single. I've just uninstalled. It's on the shelf.
Just terrible. You just learn a technique and get and just be really good at dodge rolling. Otherwise, you just
right.
So it's like flip, 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 whack, flip, 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 whack. And if you don't, they get you with all their area effect stuff and learning the game, learning the boss fight. Where everybody there's 15 bosses, I think, something like that. Major bosses. And so anyway, but yeah, just that was done. And now I kind of twiddling my thumbs I'm back to Bethany, which is what I was playing before. I'm really weirdly monogamous about games. I stick to games. When I was younger, I used to do every game I could lay my hands on. Every one I would just say, oh, gonna download that. Or buy. There was no downloading anything.
No, it was all on tapes.
All on tapes, and then and then discs. And I stuck to. I mean, I did everything I could back then. I think I probably played everything up until the 90s. I don't feel there was a game I ever didn't play, even like NBA basketball. Which
I was just playing football games. It's like I'm terrible at football.
Can't be terrible.
Yeah.
But now I just go like years and years and years plowing away at the same game.
I will try Elden Ring again, and next time I talk to you, maybe I've got somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. See, it is. You do have to try again. It's really one of those. It's where you can take an hour and a half on one boss fight. Just starting again, dying, starting again, dying. Like so you did that when you were a kid, which used to do no problem. You just go, okay,
I remember beating games without losing a single life when I was a kid. And it's like I'm terrible at it now. I probably better sign off. But
Colin, it's been Cole. Sorry.
Oh, either is fine. I'm trying to distinguish myself from the Prime Universe, Colin.
It's lovely talking to you.
It's been such a pleasure. You've really, really made my weekend. So
thank you.
Take care of yourself. Thank you.
Right back at you.
Thanks, Mel. Cheers.
Thanks, alternate universe, Colin. All right, we're going to go check in with Amy Doodles.
Amy Doodles! There she is.
Oh, there you are.
Well, loving your hat. That is fantastic. Good to see you. It's really lovely to see you again.
Thank you. It's nice seeing you. I miss you. Well,
Thank you.
Totally, because I see you on here, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. We haven't chatted for years.
It seems as though, doesn't it?
Well, it must be certainly last year. How are you, dear?
Pretty good, actually. I'm having a few good couple. Well, let's see. April was not great, but and a lot of the months before, like health-wise. But right now it's good. But I'm been thinking a lot about my mother. So you wanted to know about my story a long time ago. You wanted to know about that.
Yeah.
And it also goes with what you were asking. What's the best decision you ever made?
Yeah.
Mine is meeting my mother, to find my mother.
Wow.
And she just finished college. This was in the late 50s. She drove her little 57 Chevy down to, she was going to go to San Francisco. She drove it to Colorado. Family friends convinced her to stay there. So she stayed there. She has worked since she was 13. She had all these jobs in Colorado, all these various various jobs. And one of them was on the weekends. She had like a real like 9-to-5 job during the week, but on the weekends, she worked at a place called the Red Ram.
Oh,
And
yes.
yeah, and it's in Georgetown, Colorado.
Right.
And she met my father there, and I think they went together for like 2 or 3 years. She's never been very specific on it. Then, of course, I happened, probably at the top of this bar.
You never know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but that's where they met, was because they both worked there. So
Yeah, fantastic.
figures. They broke up because of that, partly because of that. And she didn't know what to do exactly, but she didn't want to be in the States because she didn't want her folks to visit her, because she was 25, but they wanted her to, go to college and marry a man and be a nice Jewish princess, which is a thing that is
Late
in
50s,
America.
it
The
was all
Jewish
pretty
woman
cut
is
and dried.
princess.
Yeah. What was her name?
My mother's name is Harriet.
Thank you.
And anyway, so she just thought, I know, I'll go to Europe. I've been there before. I know, places or whatever. So then she went to my father, my birth father, and she said, I need some money. So he gave her some. And, even though they were broken up, she went to Europe, and she went all over Europe. She went to Copenhagen and Berlin and, Paris. She said toward the end of her pregnancy with me, she was trying to find a warmer place, and no place was really warm, but for some reason she found Haarlem in the Netherlands warm. Who knows?
Okay, all right.
And then she had me there. But what happened was I was born right at 4 pounds, and then I lost weight.
Were you premature?
She swears I wasn't. So it took me no, they didn't let me go until November, like 8th or 9th.
So you were born in Harlem.
Yeah. And they wouldn't let me go until November 8th or 9th. But I think they only let me go because she didn't have any money, because she told me when she came back to the States in Colorado, she had 26 cents in one hand and me in the other. So she gave me away. Right. And the night she gave me away, she went to a party and she ran into somebody that she had met a while before that, but didn't remember, but he remembered her. They got married 5 months later, and they adopted a boy 5 years later after that.
So let me get this straight. So you were given away, it sounded like you were saying you were given away while she went to the party, which seems to me like you just... No,
it was the day of, though.
So the day you were actually put up for adoption.
Her friend said, her friend probably said, let's get your mind off of this. Because that's kind of how they were back then. It was like, do this, it'll take you everything will be okay.
No judgment. But so she put you up for adoption, and then went to a party, met her subsequent husband, and they adopted ironically another child 5 months later.
Right, because I ended up in at least 2 foster homes. I was only 20 pounds when I was 4 years old.
So you were tiny.
Half the size, just about half the size.
You really just got it in the neck, didn't you? That was
that's why I have the health issues I have now.
So how long were you at your first foster home? Do you know?
Not the first one, but the second one, I don't think it was very long, but the second one was from I'm guessing maybe a year until I was 3 years and 9 months old.
Okay. Oh, look at that little sweetheart.
3 years and 9 months old there. Maybe a little closer to 4 because I was smiling. So
you are just too cute.
Yeah, that was right after I got there, like maybe the same week.
Wow, look at your little socks. Too adorable, Amy.
Thank you. That's me. That's my 4-month-old picture. That's the only baby picture I have.
Wow.
I grew up not knowing that I was between 2 and 4 miles, depending on which route you take, away from my mother. And we went to all the same places. We knew the same people. She even saw me and didn't know I was me.
Wow.
Yeah, she
And
saw.
you didn't know she was her.
No.
So what gave you the idea to find your mom at 30?
I always wanted to. Always. Always, always, always. I found out I was adopted when or not adopted, but I found out that, about my mother a little bit when I was 4 years old. And I just was like, oh,
Got it.
yeah, there's just no two ways about it,
Yeah.
That
And
she
so
sound-
can you talk us a little bit about that process and meeting her and what that was like?
Yes, that was lovely. I had a psychiatrist that helped me find her. She said, oh, well, you're Jewish and by birth, and your mother's Jewish, so Jewish Family Services could probably help. And she did the phone calls and everything. And I had them call my mother, because I don't believe in like going to the doorstep going, hi, I'm the kid. No, that's not a great thing.
Too shocking.
So that's what she did. Almost a year to the day, I got a call from this really nice lady, Bernice, and she said that they found her. And then Rob and my psychiatrist also had called. So we set up a phone call, talked with my mother on September 25th, 1990, I think it was. Talked with her for a while, and it was really, really nice. And then she came to visit me 6 days later. There we are.
Nice.
That's us in 2000.
That must have been so emotional.
13, 12. Yeah, it was. Actually, we were both pretty stunned.
Wow.
I think.
And you look like you're beside the sea or a lake there.
Yeah, we're by the sea. That's at Long Beach.
Got it. Do you remember how you felt when you first laid eyes on her and you knew that?
Yeah, I'll tell you the first thing. The door to my apartment building was this little tiny, those little square door, windows. Yeah. And I looked through it and I'm like, they got the right lady. That's my nose.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Oh, so then I have to show you this.
Oh, we've got moving hats.
Yes. See, it says UC Davis, because yes, when you see me, UC Davis. Okay.
Very cool.
So then, okay, so I was pretty much stunned. Actually, I was so thrilled, but at the same time, I was stunned, which is just really.
I completely understand. I'm going to get a bit of reference here because that's my job. What were you doing at that time in your life? You were 30. You were a professional.
I was a professional disabled person. I was.
You were drawing.
I was just drawing.
I just get an idea of who Amy was at that point.
Yeah, I was drawing.
After Amy had been on stormy seas for 30 years.
Yeah, I was trying to do. I was doing a lot of stuff with getting my mental health together.
So your mom appeared at the tiny square door. Your heart was fit to burst, I imagine.
Yeah, I was like, but then it was like, wow, And there's a picture that I sent to Mel. I don't know if she's got it, and it's taken this first day that we met, and I'm wearing today the same thing I was wearing then.
Oh wow!
And
God, that really makes me empathize for you, Amy, because I'm thinking, I'm assuming inside your head you must have been having a conversation like something along the lines of, well, maybe this parent will love me.
Yeah, I did think that. I thought, I hope that she hugs a lot, which she really didn't, but now she does. We make each other laugh so hard. Oh my God, we laugh so much. We were in a Bed Bath & Beyond, right, and we were looking at a table with all these frames, and I don't know, I must have hit it by accident, and they all went down like in dominoes.
Oh God.
And we laughed so hard. I mean, yeah. And then every time we try to put one up, another one would fall down, and it just was this big thing. So we finally just walked away. And that. So
did she spend half an hour with you, a couple of hours? What, that first meeting is really that's really where the magic is.
I think we went out to eat.
That's wonderful. How long did it take you to get comfortable enough to just pick up? I'm interjecting a lot, I know, because I'm aware that we can't talk all day, although I'd love to. But how long did it take before you were comfortable enough just to call her, and she to call you?
Right away.
Wow.
She was just fine about it. She was just, I think she wanted it too. I mean, I think she really did want this too. I think I thought, well, maybe if I'd have lived with her, would it have been better?
Right. I
kind of
see.
thing.
I see. Yeah.
But it wouldn't have, and I knew that, but I just was trying to think, well, maybe this would be better, but that wouldn't. And I was just trying to figure out
It's a very
where,
dangerous thought experiment, that, because
yeah,
you can't
because
make
it
it
never
happen.
really works. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't make it happen.
You are, Amy, wonderful drawer, professional disabled person.
Working on a
So
new one.
we don't want anything different about you. Oh my God, whoa, bring that right back.
It's not done yet, but it's for a very special project.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It's been just really good though overall. She's, basically a happy-go-lucky person. She not too long after that met the guy she's with now, and she's 86 and he's like 89.
Wow.
And they're really cute together.
What a romance.
Yeah, that was a really good week. Gonna maybe be able to go in August if I can go. I want to go to the 56-year mission and then go see my mother, because she's in LA, she's in South Pasadena, and that's in Las Vegas. Then I can get 2 Amy Doodle's adventures done at once.
Oh my goodness, 2 bucket list things.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. That would be wonderful.
I really
Well,
want to do it.
I can just see the excitement in your face, just you even thinking about that.
Yeah. So
well, I really hope for you that you get to go and meet this extended family. And
she's my favorite person in the whole wide world, and all the galaxies and all the universes and all beyond that.
That's beautiful.
So
well, I love that story, Amy. That's you packed a lot into a short time.
That's why I was talking fast, and
I can't thank you enough for sharing
not
the
to ramble.
story with us. There's a lot more to you than I think anybody imagined. Thank you. Thanks very much. And we'll pick it up where we we can do the drawings forever.
Wait, hold on. I can show you one thing as a closing thing.
Oh yeah. Wow. Is that yours? Is that your work?
Yeah, it's on rice paper and it's colored pencil.
Oh my goodness.
And those are 1-inch squares. So that tells you.
That is crazy, Amy. That is amazing. It's really beautiful.
15 hours.
Really? Only that? I would have thought.
Yeah, only that.
That is absolutely beautiful. You have quite a talent, Amy. You really do.
I'm a writer too, but I don't write like I did. But I am a writer.
We'll get into that next time because we can talk a bit about that.
Yeah. But anyway, okay.
All right, sweetheart. Thank you very, very much for chatting to us all and being so generous with your story.
Oh, you're welcome. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Good to hear from you. Eli Saxey is on his phone, so I don't think he saw my private message.
Yep, Eli can hear you loud and clear. There you are.
Nice. Yeah, my Wi-Fi connection is terrible, so the phone works better, I think.
Oh, where are you that you have terrible Wi-Fi connection? Are you in some sort of subway?
I mean, no, I'm at my apartment. I think because my roommate's watching a movie, probably.
Okay. Well, it's lovely to meet you, Eli.
Yeah, absolutely. You too. This is wonderful. My first time here talking to you. I've been a fan since the first episode of Deep Space Nine aired. I look young.
You do, I have to say. You look like a liar.
No, I'm 42. So I was a fan, and thanks to Mel too for having this website up since then too, pretty much. So it's just wonderful. These talks are so heartwarming, and it's just a joy. So thank you so much for doing this. It's amazing.
That's no problem at all. I'm guessing you're in the States.
Yeah. I'm living in New York right now. I moved to New York this year. I'm from California.
Oh, wow. And what's that like? That's a huge move.
Kind of. I've moved around a lot, actually. So I went to college in Boston, and I've lived in DC and San Francisco too. And I grew up in Sonoma County, California.
Yeah. Wine country.
Yeah.
And how are you coping with the because you're coming from whereabouts are you where did you move from to New York?
Yeah, I was living in Merced, California last, so this is the rural desert kind of.
So how the hell
area.
can you afford to move into New York? Because it's the
Oh,
most
well,
expensive place in the world.
Yeah, 6 years ago or so, I made a later in life career change, and I'm a registered nurse now, so I can kind of go anywhere I want to.
Bless you. That's brilliant. That's really cool. And is it? Do you find it kind of a culture shock? Because when I first went to New York, well, actually not when I first went. That was when I was 13. I had no idea what was happening. But in 2000, when I first actually lived there for a bit, I was just so intimidated by the street scene that it was just so noisy and angry. And it's like, oh my God, everybody's so angry all the time. Do you find that, or do you like, nah, rolls
I
off your
feel
back?
it's a little bit kinder and gentler now, actually, because like I said, I went to college in Boston, and so we came to New York to party all the time, and this would be like 1999 type
Yeah, that was
time.
when I was around. Yeah.
And I feel like I remember lots more rats and lots more trash and lots more mean upstairs. I feel like it's a little kinder and gentler now, or I just don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you just don't care. That's just fine. Do you work out of a hospital?
So I'm not working at this very moment, which is so wonderful. So I've been so lucky to be getting into this travel nursing thing, and this is 3-month contracts. So I actually was randomly working in rural New Jersey for the last 3 months, and now I'm taking time off.
Wow.
Because I can't.
What is a travel nurse?
Well, it's a nurse in any kind of the nursing disciplines. You can be an ER nurse or whatever nursing you're doing, and it's just taking contracts. So I'm pretty.
So you're master of your own time.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is tremendous.
Nurses, just as a profession, I feel like have been abused for so long, and so just overworked all the time, constantly, right? And so we're taking back our power.
Good. How did you do through COVID? I know you were in a rural part of the world, but
oh, it was awful. I was in rural California, and I was working in an even more rural place than I was living. It was horrible, and I'm a real extrovert too, and so just that whole year, I was doing hospice actually, so I was working with super vulnerable, so I could not go out anywhere and risk.
No, yeah,
my patient saw nobody for a year and worked the entire time, and it was really horrible. It was horrible. I really wanted to join these talks at that, but I was working all the time, and I couldn't. I never managed.
I'm so sorry. We have some other medical professionals in the club, and everybody's. You can see the relief in their shoulders rising from having had such heavy weights on them for the last 2 years. And at the beginning, back in 2020, the stories were harrowing from people telling us from the Netherlands and from all over the world. And everybody has had the same experience. Every nurse, every doctor, they've all had the same experience, the same crushing, incredibly difficult experience over the last couple of years.
I had this feeling that I had lost the ability to feel because it was just too much. And so actually I took off seeing patients for most of 2021 actually. So again, I was lucky that I could do that, and I did some writing and I did some nonprofit work actually. And so now I'm seeing patients again.
That's fantastic that you do that. So I'm guessing you have quite a lot of strings to your fiddle, because you seem to have a lot more freedom than a lot of nurses that I know.
Oh, well, thank you.
The confidence comes from knowing that you could do that, or you could do that, or you could just decide to do that.
I feel super privileged. Yeah, I feel really lucky to have that. Yeah, I have lots of different things I can do.
So you do draw, you say, you do art?
Yeah. I don't have a whole lot. I have sketches here, but like I said, I just moved, and I kind of moved just with this bag and I have clothes.
I'm amazed you found a place and you just settled right in, no problem.
Yeah, like I said, I've kind of moved around a lot actually. I've lived in Australia too, and I like moving, so it's kind of I think it's fun.
It's amazing. And what do you do to relax? What do you do to have fun? If you have a hobby, what would it be? Hobby is such a quaint word. I don't think we call it.
I have tons. Like I said, I do draw and paint, and I actually almost did a bachelor's in fine arts, but not quite. So I paint, but mostly I moved to New York so I could see a lot of jazz actually, and I've gotten really into that in the last couple of years. Yeah.
Wow. And where's the best place to go see jazz in New York?
I mean, there's literally 100
Everywhere.
places. It's amazing. Yeah. I have a list on my wall that was from the newspaper, and it's about 100 different jazz clubs, and I'm ticking them off.
Oh my goodness.
It's the best place, I think, in the world for it.
It
so.
must be. It must be. Because I mean, we went through a phase of loving jazz in Los Angeles back in the day. Nana and I, we could find 2 or 3 places in the whole of Los Angeles that reliably had, you know, jazz, like Catalina Bar and Grill and a couple of other places. And that was kind of it. And I know New York, comedy and jazz coming out of its ears. You can you can have a fun night if you like comedy.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to get into that too. Yeah, because I've seen it around.
It's the only place where that random kind of stuff can happen. I was in and some of the people in the club might have told this story. I've been doing this for nearly 2.5 years, so I sometimes repeat myself, and I'm trying not to. But there was a time when I was at the top of the NBC building, Rockefeller. I think it's reopened. It's called the Rainbow Room, but they shut it down for a long time, and I think they revamped it and then they put it up again. But back in the day, my good friend Joe, who was a designer on Deep Space Nine, and I went to he was a senior illustrator, junior designer, and we went up to the top of this place because apparently it had a great view over New York, and we had a delicious dinner and a cocktail overlooking New York. It was fantastic. So we went, right, we're going to do something. So we went downstairs onto the street, and we saw a big red rope and a load of people waiting in line, and we're like, oh, something must be happening, let's get in line. And as I was walking to get in line, the bouncer, the dude in the black suit, said, oh, right this way. I was like, what? And we were literally walking to get to the end of the line. That was where we were going. But he just let us go straight in. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not even dressed cool or anything. And we sat down at the bar. There was about 3 people in the whole nightclub at the moment because they just weren't letting anyone in. I don't know if he thought I was Prince's brother. I don't know what he thought. It was weird anyway. And so I'm kind of, this is why, because literally 2 beers in, Prince walked out on stage. The place, there were about 30 people in there by that time. They were not letting anyone in. And Prince was wearing a technicolored suit, and he had a band of 20 people. Lenny Kravitz came out, and they were just playing to us. There was no one else there. I mean, just 40, 50 of us. And at first, Joe and I thought, wait a minute, that guy looks a lot like Prince. It turned out to be Prince. So I got to see Prince live. And that can only happen in New York City.
That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
But I thank you for coming and just saying hi, introducing yourself. I want to see a lot more of you. So maybe you can take some more time off, so that we can hang out a bit more. And I'd like to hear a bit more about your experiences during COVID and what you're making of New York, because it's yet another new place you've arrived at. I'd be really curious to know how you feel about it.
Oh, I love it so much. I got so many feelings already. Just for the modern, San Francisco just doesn't have the modern art either. It's just all here.
Yeah. Well, it's lovely talking to you, Eli. Thank you very much. And let's meet again. Come and chat anytime.
Yeah, for having these. They're just so heartwarming, and the internet doesn't have a whole lot of heartwarming. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eli. It's good to meet you. All right, we're going to go check in with Julia.
Hi there.
Hi there. It's good to see you. Julia.
It's good to see you again. Hi.
I remember the picture of the world behind you last time we talked.
No, I think last time I had my messy background.
Oh,
and this time it's even messier because I'm in isolation because of COVID. And I'm sick with COVID. So I couldn't tidy up. The first 3 days were really bad. So I couldn't get anything done, like even going to the doctor. And then I somehow managed to go to the doctor, but no one is at home. My family is luckily not in the house. They are on vacation, so at least I have the home on my own.
Do you have some energy? Are you okay in the energy?
Yeah.
They say you have no energy to really move.
Yeah, no, now it's better. The first 3 days were really bad, but now it's better, really. I don't have any fever anymore.
Great.
And luckily I got vaccinated. I got the vaccine 3 times, but still, if this is the light version, I don't even want to know what the heavy version is like. I really want to thank all of you again for sharing your stories and conversations, because that really cheers me up, because I still have the symptoms, and I also I'm still out of breath, and I was worried if I could participate today. I was already thinking in the last few minutes, can I do it or can't I do it? But yeah,
well,
I'm
you're doing
here.
just great. And if you run out of breath, just stop and we'll catch up.
Yeah, I think I caught COVID when I went to a concert again. I think last time I told you that I really love going to concerts, and I was feeling very optimistic about attending concerts again. So I had ticket for a band called Rammstein, and it was a really mass scale event. So I told myself, okay, let's see if it's going to work out. And of course, it didn't work out because it was on Friday last week, and on Tuesday morning, I woke up and was like, okay.
How long do you have to stay at home? 2 weeks?
No, 5 days here in Germany. It's
pretty cool.
5 days. Yeah, it's really weird at the moment.
Yeah, this is work you've just started.
Yeah, I just started in a job in March, and I also had an accident at work in March. So this year is really not my year.
Oh, you poor lamb. That's just awful. What have you done? What have you been doing to keep yourself sane? Because you can't move, you definitely can't leave.
Yeah.
What have you been doing? How have you been staying afloat?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Netflix. I've watched, I started Star Trek Deep Space Nine again because it helps. I skipped the episode with the virus because at this point I don't want to hear anything about pandemic anymore. But yeah, and also I started watching Stranger Things, season 4.
Oh yeah,
I really like this.
We're watching that. We've only just watched episode 2. Episode 2, really long.
It's really long.
Minutes long.
I like it's fantastic, but of course you can also only watch 2 or 3 episode one evening, and these days I can only watch one, and then I fall already asleep in
no, we do too. That's we kind of stop in the middle because my wife likes to chat during TV shows. So she's forever pausing it. It's like, right, this reminds me of that. And I'm like, wait, okay, we're good. I'll listen. Okay. So it takes about 3 hours to get through a 1 hour show. It's nevertheless, I'm glad you're getting better now. It seems to be that all roads are working their way towards men. What is the work that you're currently not able to do?
I'm working in technical support, technical customer support. I started a job as office clerk for order processing. The customers call me and I take up their orders and I just enter that into the system, or they write emails, and this is really complex because our company sells spare parts, exchange parts for machines. Often the customers really need the parts very urgently because their machine has broken down. So it's a lot of stress, and I think it's very challenging. And I have been learning a lot because before I have been looking for a job for a long time. And I've been working at my father's company at home. And so far, it's really a new experience for itself.
Absolutely. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. But I've been learning a lot. That's wonderful. Right.
Have you seen a British TV show called The Big Bang Theory?
Not yet. I admit I have to start at one yet.
It's very good. And it's about two IT guys who are technical support guys, but it's very, very funny.
No, you're thinking of the IT crowd.
Oh, it's called the IT crowd.
Okay.
Big Bang Theory is a whole nother concept. So she would be
Okay, it's not called the Big Bang Theory. Don't look at that. That's something to do with science. This is the IT crowd. It's called the IT crowd. Okay.
IT crowd. Okay.
I'm not incredibly reliable on nomenclature in general, but that's basically what it's called. Ah, yes, the IT crowd. It makes sense because they're IT guys. I mean, they're nothing to do with bangs. Okay, cool. Squared away. Thank God there are other people here who can actually get the facts right, because they slide away from me very often. So what was your favorite thing to do during education when you were learning? What was your favorite subject? What was the thing you just most enjoyed more than anything else? Yeah.
My interests were always languages, but at some point I shifted away from languages and translation, because at some point I noticed I can't do any money with that because there are so many people who are so damn good. I said, okay, business administration is done, and I never really had such a big passion for it. I said myself, I'll make it work.
Yeah.
I do writing. I like
really?
writing. I started writing in 2018 fan fiction. Now it's a bit on hiatus. I'm on a break because I kind of have a writing block, and now with COVID, I can't write. It's impossible. I often have brain fog.
Yeah,
So,
I absolutely understand. That makes it
yeah.
very difficult. Yeah. Do you love reading? Do you get to read?
Yeah, I love reading. I do read a lot, but mostly fan fictions at the moment. But I also
we're full of fan fiction. Have you read fan fiction? This is fan fiction central. Look, a lot of people here write great fan fiction.
Yeah. I noticed I'm in the community as well, and sometimes I'm active, and it's amazing. And I also like reading the official Star Trek Deep Space Nine books. I'm reading the one of Annie Robinson, and at the moment, and yeah, I do like reading that.
That's really cool. Well, I'm so glad you came and said hi again, and it's lovely to catch up.
It was lovely.
Catch up with some more, and I hope this brain fog clears, because that means you've recovered completely from COVID, and that you have a racing imagination.
Yeah,
you think it's fantastic to write, that you love the sound of, and you just splash around in it.
Yeah, I hope so too. And thanks for taking the time, and
no problem.
Have a lovely day, evening. I don't know what time it is.
Doesn't matter.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Julia. Thanks, Julia.
Bye.
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 Julia, feel better.
Bye.
We're going to wrap it up, guys.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your weekends, everybody.
Have
and we'll
see you. Great weekend, everyone. Thank you all.
See you next Friday.
Good night.
Good night. Bye. Thanks, Mel.
Bye.
Bye, Sid.